If we keep polluting our oceans as we do today, the amount of plastic will outweigh all the fish in the sea by 2015. So we'll have more pieces of plastic than fish in our oceans in 30 years' time.
You're listening to the Johny Pach Show, where I connect you to the most influential, masterful minds of this generation. We're gaining insight into their lives, their achievements, and the stories along the way. Stick around if you too are determined to succeed. Okay, guys, now please welcome my guest for the morning show. I'm going to interview two lovely people. Now, my first guest is currently the executive director of a Plastic Ocean Foundation. This person has more than a decade of NGO management and advocacy experience under his belt and was named an Asia Green Warrior by Conscious Living Festival Green is the New Black in 2018. So first up, I have Willy Kwong. Hello, Willy.
Hello, Johnny.
Lovely to speak to you. And I'm going to also introduce your counterpart, which is a marine biologist currently finishing her PhD in ecology and biodiversity at the University of Hong Kong. She is currently supporting the development of a Plastic Ocean Foundation and will be joining the team after her graduation. Through providing knowledge and insight to the Plastic Ocean Foundation, this person aims to make a difference in people's attitude to how they dispose of plastics. She hopes to inspire hope for change, transfer her love for the oceans, and help evaluate the tremendous negative impacts on our oceans through plastic pollution. Please welcome Laura Agusto. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi, Johnny.
How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well, very well. This is my earliest podcast, which is pretty good. It's going to get me kick-started and ready for the day. For the listeners back home, where are you guys based right now?
So we're based in Hong Kong. So we have projects in Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, and China, but headquarters Hong Kong.
Wow, amazing. What's the weather and everything like over there? You guys are obviously outside of isolation and everything now.
So the situation is getting more stabilized in terms of the COVID, but everyone must be aware of. We still are facing social unrest. So hopefully things will be getting more calmer in this summer.
Yeah, no, I got it. Willy, look, you got the title of Asia Green Warrior. That's pretty impressive, right?
Very cool.
So this is actually so I've been involved into the plastic reduction, with plastic recycling stuff for a few years, and therefore therefore they want to kind of showcasing everyone is doing something for the planet, and therefore they award me this lovely title.
No, so it's pretty amazing. We're going to delve into the Plastic Ocean Foundation. I want to know all about it. I've personally got a passion for the oceans. I do a tremendous amount of traveling with various holidays with my fiance, but also a lot of work commitments. And it was an integral part of my podcast to interview you both and to really talk about the foundation, because I think, from quite a few discussions and conversations we've had, I certainly want to increase the awareness of your foundation and the state of our current oceans. And, I'd personally love to become an ambassador of you guys, because I do have that emotional attachment to the oceans for sure,
Woo,
We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. Laura, you're just about to graduate. So how has the whole kind of isolation period affected you? Are you are you still on course to graduate in a timely fashion, or what's going to happen now?
Yeah, so as I was nearing the end of my PhD, everything kind of kicked off here.
Right.
So we went into isolation, which was actually not the worst thing for me because I had to isolate to write anyways. So it wasn't too bad for me. So I had to stay home anyways to write. So that worked well. And I'm still on course to graduate on time. Other students are less fortunate, I would say, with their curriculums. But everyone's doing their best in the current circumstances, and we're all in it together.
No, I must say you are you're studying to become a marine biologist, which I have to say, out of all of the career paths within this world, that has to be the most fascinating. What led you to studying something so complex and exciting like that?
Primarily, like you, Johny, passion and love for the ocean. So I already have a marine biology degree, and this is just a little bit of an upgrade, I would say, this PhD. But from a young age on, I was a little bit of a science nerd to begin with. Always in the water, never coming out, even though I grew up in the north of Europe, there's not much time to spend in the water.
Right.
But yeah, from a young age on, I've always been fascinated. And then I've had the chance to travel a bit more. And, the more you travel, the more you see, and the more, impacts to the beauty that our oceans have, you see as well. Swimming in beautiful lagoons, beaches covered in plastic is shocking. And it's not always, easy for people living in small islands to not use plastic. So there's a lot to be done.
No,
and that put me here. Yeah.
We're gonna delve into the state of the oceans very, very soon. Willy, tell me, so look, Plastic Ocean Foundation, how many years have you been running now, and how did it all originate? Where did it all come about from?
So basically, our foundation established 2002. So actually start from a group of very passionate business, educator, media people. Actually, everyone just sit together and think what we can do for the ocean. And also, indeed, actually, we are also the very first organization identified there's a plastic issues in the ocean. So we start to fundraise and also produce our film, The Plastic Ocean. We start everything around 2014,
right.
And then film launch in 2017. So and right now we have our headquarters in Hong Kong, focusing a lot on technologies and see how we can be part of the solution. So this is the journey. So 2002 we sit down as an organization. 2014 we decided to make a film, and then almost broke because of film making is terribly expensive, and we launched our film in 2017. Yeah, a long kind of interesting journey indeed.
No, I bet, and I bet you met some very exciting people along the way, including Laura, and you've created so many incredible opportunities. I want to delve into the TV documentary itself, but Laura, let me ask you, from your eyes, what do you feel is the Plastic Ocean Foundation? What is their mission? What is the mission right now?
So our mission is to change people's attitudes towards plastic usage, preferably in a single generation.
Okay.
And we do this by working together with other NGOs and the community.
Okay, excellent stuff. How different are you to other plastic charity organizations globally? Because you've got quite a fair bit of competition, would you say, Willy?
Yeah, exactly. Even in Hong Kong, we have kind of 800 NGOs working in the same area. Plastic, ocean recovery. So I don't see a huge difference between Plastic Ocean and other organizations. We start from a very passionate group of people who want to do something for the earth. But what makes us different, I believe, is the approach. So we are focusing a lot in collaborations. We work with business sector, we work with, just like Laura mentioned, community and NGOs. We love to kind of establish partnership with various stakeholders for the ocean. I guess this is something a little bit different from other NGOs.
No, got it. You guys are very different. And I'll tell you, the difference was, and I must say, the kind of film which really propelled you. Laura, what would you say? You know, that TV documentary that you guys created, that had a massive impact, didn't it? That went out to so many hundreds of thousands and millions of people to spread awareness straight away. Tell us about that TV documentary.
So the documentary, A Plastic Ocean, is a feature documentary, 102 minutes. It's a kind of standard movie. When we first started this project, actually what we are thinking about, we decided to make a film. That means at least 100 minutes. So we need to have a very strong, organized storyboard. And therefore we invited Craig Leeson to help us along the journey. So a lot of hardship, because at this in 2014, people actually don't realize there's a kind of plastic pollution. So when we engage investors, engage funders, a lot of them just have a question in mind whether or not we have kind of scientific proof the pollution exists. So we overcome a lot of barrier like this. When we almost finish the film, the other questions in a lot of people's minds, what everyone can do after watching the film, in terms of behavioral change, in terms of how they can adapt a new business model. So we are also, on one hand, we highlighted the issues through our film, but we didn't touch a lot on the solution. So yeah, this is something, maybe our next movie, the solution.
Yeah, so Willy's the brains behind the whole movie, so I just let him take that question.
Yeah. No, fair enough. And no, Laura, it was a very impactful movie, and it won a number of different awards back in 2017. Can you tell us, you know, how you feel about the success of that film? And obviously for the listeners back home that haven't seen it just yet, where can they find the film?
So our film right now, you can just simply search A Plastic Ocean movie. So you can request for a screening license, or of course, if you are a subscriber of Netflix, Amazon Prime, you can just simply log into it and watch the entire film. So, yeah. But on winning on the prizes, yes, actually, this makes us a kind of
jump in the air with joy.
Yeah, right. That means actually we're moving to the right pathway. Yeah. And through this kind of acknowledgement, we also see a kind of crisis here, because people are somehow scared by what we indicated, and they want to help us to further promote it by giving us award and help us to promoting the film. So it's the kind of, people are starting to realize how seriousness is the problem, and also doing efforts to drive the issue.
By having someone like David Attenborough comment on the movie.
I was going to say, and he said one of the most important films of our time. That is some testimonial right there.
Chills. Yeah, definitely that is so impactful for the issue that, you know, Sir David Attenborough would say something like that. Really emphasizes the issues and brings it into more people's homes.
No, for sure. Are you guys going to get him on camera? It'd be absolutely fantastic to interview him, right?
We definitely should.
Yes, we should. Yeah, he spent us a huge amount of time in coordinating that interview. Actually, the interview was kind of coordinated by our producer, Joe Ruston, based in UK. Yeah. So basically, it's an international production. We have crews all over the world to make this wonderful piece of work.
No, definitely. And look, you guys are obviously all getting back to normal over there at the moment. We're going to be out of isolation and everything very, very soon. But what do you have lined up now for the next year for the foundation itself?
Yeah, so we do actually we are. So the film highlighted the issues, and also we are starting to have the momentum to move to the next step, which is the in search of the solution. So as a foundation, actually, we are investing some of our capital, some of our energies in setting up a recycling facility somewhere in Hong Kong or in Singapore or in Taiwan. So we are still searching for the right piece of land, but definitely we are investing into the recycling technologies. So how we can use the latest technology to enhance the recycling efficiency is something we're exploring. And also we are partnering with different academia, go way beyond the environmental field. So we're partnering with sociologists to study how behavior can be changed through public education. So we're investing a lot of our time in searching the solution by changing behavior, enhancing recycling, and also even partnering with a lot of investment bank to restart the ocean literacy kind of work in China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, this Greater China region.
So otherwise, for this summer, we're really excited to have some summer programs lined up. So
yeah,
we're first of all starting our beach cleanups again.
Great.
Which is really great. So we get a bunch of people signed up for that, and we're also starting up a summer intern ocean ambassador program with students to set them free on the world as ocean ambassadors. We'll also have a pop-up store, and generally expanding our recycling business model here in Hong Kong.
Yep, also partnering with Japan NGOs under the same umbrella, trying to save their ocean from plastic pollution.
No, amazing, guys. Very, very excited for what's going to be coming up over the next 6 months. Tell me about your exposure over here in the UK. Is there any? I mean, do you have any stance over here in the UK yet? I mean, maybe I could lean of a team of NGOs to get to the beaches here and start to clean up our oceans. It could be an idea.
We do have a sister organization, Plastic Ocean UK, which is fabulous. They've been doing a lot of cleanup, a lot of sections, just educating people on plastic pollution. Definitely, we can connect you on Plastic Ocean UK.
Yeah, that sounds like an excellent idea. Now, tell us, I want very hard for us to see and feel the state of the oceans, because I mean, look, I'm in Surrey right now, which is just outside of London. You only kind of see the state of the oceans when you go traveling. Laura, I know you're very passionate about this. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the state of our global oceans right now. Are they as bad as everybody is making out?
That's a big question, Johnny.
Yeah.
In general, yes, they are not doing too great.
Okay.
But particularly what our expertise is when it comes to plastic pollution, they're not doing too great either. And that's where we come into play. But the thing is that I don't know if you can fathom this number, but there's about 8 million tons of plastic a year that are put into our oceans.
No
globally
way.
And 80% of that comes from land activities. So from things happening on land through factories and household products a lot. And that all enters in our oceans from the beaches and rivers. And because plastic floats around, it moves around in the ocean through currents. And the fact that we don't immediately see it because these floating particles, they all tend to come together in the middle of ocean basins and much less around the coast. So they concentrate like a big, ocean tornado in the middle of your ocean basins. And like if we keep polluting our oceans as we do today, the amount of plastic will outweigh all the fish in the sea by 2015. So we'll have more pieces of plastic than fish in our oceans in 30 years' time.
Welcome to America's Next Investment, a new era of investing.
Hi guys, it's Johny Pach here again, and I'm back this time to host a brand new show with a brand new podcast for America's Next Investment. A&I podcast series is where companies can gain exposure, brand awareness, and promote their capital raise. A&I podcast viewers will also have the opportunity to invest in companies featured on the A&I podcast. So make sure you stay tuned for America's Next Investment podcast show. Check out americasnextinvestment.com for the latest air dates and times. If you're a company and you want to be featured on the A&I podcast series, contact us today. Details can be found on our show notes page at the A&I website. I'm Johny Pach, and stay tuned for America's Next Investment podcast series. It's unbelievable and deeply saddening. What's the? I mean, Willy, you've been in this industry for a very long time. What's the worst plastic in the ocean case that you've come across of late?
Yeah. So actually, there's this one Coca-Cola bottle being found in a beach cleanup that can go back into 1960 something.
1960?
1960
Wow.
something. So you can imagine how long actually this plastic will last. And also after there is a typhoon in Hong Kong a few years ago, actually there are more than 1.5 tons of plastic being kind of going back into the land, going back to the real estate. So basically, you can see actually a lot of plastic is kind of in our seabed right now. When there are typhoon, when there are natural disaster, they will just come back.
Nature is throwing it back at us, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So situation is getting just like what you mentioned. A lot of people cannot see the problem when in peaceful time, but in natural disaster, when something is not working right, just fall back. Yeah.
Wow, that's just unbelievable, isn't it? It's so hard to actually visualize the complexity and how large this type of thing is globally at the moment. How can we help as humanity? How can we help the oceans right now? What do we need to do?
Nora first, yes.
In general, I would say everyone can do something, no matter how small your actions are. But it's about your daily behavior at home. So it's your daily behavior about using plastics that you use for 1 minute and then throw away, like a disposable coffee mug, a takeaway box that's all made out of plastic or styrofoams. Even scrubs we use have little pieces of plastic in it called microplastics, intentionally put in there, which ends up down our sinks, it ends up in our oceans, it ends up in the fish, it ends up back in our bodies. So there's so many, there's a real loop back to ourselves. So I would say change your daily behavior at home has quite a big impact.
Where do you see the state of the oceans in the next 50 years if we just carry on doing what we're doing?
Well, like I said, there will be more plastic than fish,
yes.
and much more human health related issues will pop up. So plastics have known negative toxic effects on our health. Mainly BPAs leak from plastics and are known hormonal disruptives in our bodies. So when we eat food out of plastic containers, hot food out of plastic containers, these BPAs leak into our food. When we have plastic into our landfills, it rains, it leaks into our ocean, in our waterways, and it always comes back to us. So yeah, it's pretty grim right now, but we can do something about it. It's just, will we?
No, I've got you. Deeply saddening, and we're all obviously going to be working together to improve this as much as we can. And this is why we have conversations like this, to spread the awareness, to change our kind of human perspective on how we need to all contribute as one to helping our beautiful oceans. Tell me, look, I know we kind of touched on this on the lead up to the interview, but COVID-19 has obviously helped the air pollution in many cities and in many countries. Would you say that this whole isolation period has actually contributed to our oceans in some way?
Shall I take that question, Willy?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I would say it has contributed negatively to our oceans.
Right.
Because of, multiple reasons. Firstly, we have, of course, masks that are used, which are incredibly important. So surgical masks are life-saving.
Yeah.
But they're made out of plastic.
Right.
And the issue there, again, is there's an issue with proper disposal of these plastic waste items. So also from an hygienic point of view, it's quite dangerous to keep them laying around. So what we would like to see is have governments take incentive to have pickup points for masks or special bins that they dispose of properly. Secondly, because, we're all home, takeout orders have increased tremendously. Of course, businesses need to keep, providing a service. So takeout orders have increased tremendously, but that means plastic, single-use plastic has increased as well. So in general, I would say it has negatively impacted plastic pollutions and our oceans, since most of the plastic that comes through takeout orders, single-use cups, coffee mugs, all goes back into our oceans.
Wow. It's very disturbing, isn't it? Would you say that the whole COVID-19 period that we've lived through now, do you think it's a massive wake-up call for humanity to come together and really help to save our planet?
I would hope so, because it's been devastating for our entire globe. No person has been left unaffected. So we really hope that this has left us with a valuable lesson, that prevention is better than a cure. And it's something you can extend to plastics in our oceans. So why not prevent the entrance of a harmful and toxic agent into our environment and into our bodies, instead of trying to find a cure for something we've ignored so far and let happen. You can kind of compare it to mopping up water while leaving the faucet open. We need to get to the faucet and close it.
Wow. Listening to you guys and hearing all about the foundation and everything that you are doing to contribute to save this planet, I'm left with a feeling of there are many plastic ocean charities out there, and in a way you are a big family unit, and you are working together to to contribute and really come together and just help save the human race in a way. Willy, tell me, for the listeners listening, or maybe, you know, a lot of our listeners are business startups, entrepreneurs, investors. If they are looking to come up with an idea to set up a Plastic Ocean Foundation similar to yours, what advice would you give them? What does it take to be successful in this plastic ocean philanthropy space?
Woo. Wow. So definitely we need more and more people to set up organization, team up with different expertise to save the ocean. So one of the things I think is crucial is kind of understanding your capacity, skill sets, and also what is the very unique skills you can contribute. No matter it's a beach cleanup, no matter it's your time, your workplace. So I guess we need, basically everyone needs to understand what he or she can contribute, and then gather all this kind of energy and build into momentum. So self-reflection, what you can do for the ocean in terms of a small team, in terms of organization. With that in mind, actually you can start looking for investor, funders, and also even volunteers to expand your kind of circle of influence.
I was going to say, because you're obviously looking for your own individual funding. Does your government help out with funding certain aspects of your foundation?
A little bit. We do have around 10% of funding come from the local Hong Kong government. Not much, yeah.
And how many people do you have part of your team now globally?
So our Hong Kong office, basically we have 5 people. We have Flora, we have education officer, business development officer. We do have a few partners, not as kind of our staff, basically in China, in Shanghai, Beijing, and also Singapore. So we are kind of working in a partnership model, and we kind of this we as a local charity, as a local foundation, we just don't step into other territory. Instead, we partner with local NGOs because they know the market better than us.
Yeah, no, I bet. And just to kind of finish off from where you guys are at, obviously you've mentioned that you've got a lot going on. When everything is all back to normal and everything's running smoothly again, Laura, for my listeners based here in the UK, what advice would you give my listeners to contribute in and to help save our oceans surrounding the British Isles?
Those are beautiful isles as well.
We've got stony beaches though. It's really frustrating. They're giant. They're giant man-made. You know, they were man-made in Brighton. I think they did it around kind of the wartime, World War One. But they literally laid the whole beach with giant pebbles. It's very uncomfortable to sunbathe on.
It's good massage walking on. It's a free foot massage, Johnny.
That is true.
Well, for people living around beaches, they can just do weekly beach cleanups themselves. Just go to the beach with a big bag, be it a cotton bag or any sort of bag, and just start picking up whatever you find. I recently saw an article of a woman in the UK who has been doing this on a weekly basis, and she makes beautiful art pieces out of it. She finds plastics dating back from the 50s.
Wow.
That are almost completely intact. And it's quite astonishing what you can find. There might be some treasure in between the plastic, you never know. So definitely go do beach cleanups and, incentivize your local stores to reduce their single plastic use provision. So if stores are in on it, if they don't offer it anymore, people will ask, well, why? So that's a way you do education as well. So if it's not offered, people won't buy it, but it needs to work the other way around. People need to show incentive to not want to buy it as well. So ask for reusable cups, bring your own bags to the grocery store. Don't put your vegetables in a little plastic baggie that you'll use for 2 minutes and then throw away. And it will last, plastic doesn't disappear ever. It just breaks up into smaller and smaller pieces, which, are bad for us as well. So yeah, there's plenty to do.
Yeah, good stuff. Willy, I wanted to ask you, obviously technology is getting a lot more advanced now. There's a lot more technologies coming into play with biodegradable plastics. As Laura mentioned, it does break down into very small pieces, but do you think there's going to be anything invented where it just eliminates plastic forever somehow? Can you give us some sort of glimmer of hope on that?
In terms of the technology, definitely incinerator has been improving. Even recycling, like the waste to fuel, waste to energy, they may be a future option. But what actually we are seeing is, first of all, what we call virgin plastic is still very cheap. As long as they are still in this kind of pricing, actually there are low incentive for the business to convert to use the recycled plastic instead of using virgin plastic. So technology is important, but we still need to have a good policy in place so that in terms of regulation, in terms of incentive, so that business need to change their mindset. So yes, technology is getting more and more advanced, but as long as the kind of original material or virgin plastic is still very cheap, it won't be a foreseeable solution on plastic pollution. Secondly, the other thing is apart from the business, apart from the products, the other things we need to address is kind of recycle behavior of the general public. Right. Whether or not we can provide kind of incentive, how we can change the behaviors, and therefore it is also very critical for NGOs like us, like passionate people like us, to work with psychologists, sociologists, to figure out how human behavior, how human brains work. So yeah, technology is something definitely we are betting for, but we still need to look for a lot of different areas.
We recently stumbled upon a small company here that makes bags, biodegradable bags that you can put in hot water and it will dissolute. So do you know the coating around pills? So when you swallow it, the coating around, it looks like plastic, but it's not, and it will, solute in your stomach. So they're making plastic bags out of the same material, which will degrade over time and is not harmful for our environment. So there's a lot of alternatives out there, and very pretty alternatives too. I have a huge collection of reusable mugs just because they're so pretty. But as Willy said, it's more expensive than creating plastic out of raw materials, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Guys, isn't it kind of disconcerting to see that the word plastic now it comes across as such a negative word, doesn't it? And it has literally been the foundation over the last 100 or so years into really help us as humans to live a better life. Are there any positives with plastic at the moment and the word itself?
Yep. So simply speaking, without plastic, actually, the alliance will not be able to win the Nazi enemies because of the parachute. Right. Parachute is made by plastic. The medicine is made by plastic. So plastic actually did save human being, basically. The other thing is just think of the furniture right now. most of the furniture are made of plastic instead of wood. If we are still relying on wood, metals, actually we don't have the resources that can kind of accommodate the humans, furniture, home, this kind of demand. Of course, if we go back into hospital, if we go back to the medical industry, so without this surgical mask, without this plastic tube, a lot of infants, a lot of young babies won't be able to survive. So yeah, plastic do save life, but what's actually causing the plastic solution is our irresponsible behavior. The human irresponsible behavior, selfishness, these kind of things. So we need to adjust the behavior actually.
No, very interesting. Anything to add on that, Laura, at all?
No, I didn't know about the parachute.
Guys.
Yeah. I thought that was made out of fabric, no?
Fabric?
And plastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Basically, it's a poly something.
Oh, yeah.
Have you done a skydive?
I've bungee jumped, but I don't know. Yeah, I've bungee jumped. That's not what I guess the elastic in bungee jumping is also made out of, it's also made out of plastic. So.
Yeah.
I've never parachuted down. Maybe one day.
I did it.
Wow.
I did it over the Grand Canyon. It was pretty impressive about 3 years ago. It was
not a bad location to do that.
Oh no, it was pretty amazing. Sunrise going over the Grand Canyon. It was pretty intense experience, but yeah, absolutely loved it. Just to kind of finish off with you guys, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm pretty sure that my listeners would have learned so much. And Willy, you're absolutely right. It's all to do with the human mind and how we interact with plastic and what we can physically do to help save the planet. It's not so much the distribution or the manufacturing of plastic itself. It's us. It's what we do to destroy our oceans physically. It's very disconcerting, and I'm hopeful with this podcast it's going to give people a strong awakening on what we need to do, you know?
Exactly. Actually, from COVID, actually, one thing we can learn, actually, if we work together in the COVID situation, country work together in partnership, people has been self-disciplined. Actually, we can fight COVID. The same we can fight the plastic pollution through collaboration, partnership, and also self-discipline.
I got it. And look, you kind of briefly mentioned this before, but what is coming up for the Plastic Ocean Foundation over the next year? Are you going to be attending many festivals? Are you going to be receiving any more awards? And we would all like to see a part 2 of the documentary, I'm sure.
Yeah. So on one hand, we are trying to send Laura and also the team going in to attend the United Nations meeting next year on biodiversity. So we want to speak in that UN meeting, voice out what we have been, as an NGO, has been seeing in terms of plastic pollution. So this is our short-term goal. Definitely, we are also seeing possibility to create another film. Of course, we will explore the matter is a shorter version or other kind of different kind of distribution model. So making a second film focusing on solution is definitely in our checklist.
No, definitely. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Lastly, Laura, where can we find all of your work?
You can find our work on our LinkedIn and on Facebook under A Plastic Ocean Foundation.
Absolutely fantastic. And guys, when we are all kind of back to normal and international flights...
we'll go skydiving at the Grand Canyon, yeah?
Absolutely. I was going to say, we can meet in a mutual location and chill by the beach and just absolutely brainstorm on the foundation itself. Where are the nearest beaches to you guys?
everywhere. Hong Kong, all coast everywhere. So there's a beach at, I don't know, 20 minutes from here.
Yep. We're a coastal city.
The ocean is at a 7-minute walk, I guess, from here.
Yeah. Victoria Harbour. Yeah. So we are actually living by the sea. Yeah.
Excellent stuff, guys. I'm certainly going to fly out and see you both. Look, have a wonderful evening. Just for the listeners, where are you going tonight again?
We're going to a bar, Tiki Lounge.
Yes.
And they're organizing a
bartender charitable Canada sales for us.
Yeah, it's a nearly nude bartender calendar.
A nearly nude.
Yeah. So and special drinks, and all the the revenues go back to us.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're helping to save the oceans, and you're getting plastered on free drink. I love it.
Yep, that's why I do it.
Got to keep motivated, guys. Look, thanks a lot. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for the interview.
Okay.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
Pleasure, Johny. Bye.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye. Hi, guys. That was the Johny Pach Show. I hope you loved the interview with Willy Kwong, who is the executive director of a Plastic Ocean Foundation, and then Laura Agusto, training to become a marine biologist at the University of Hong Kong, and she is now supporting and part of the foundation, making a difference, making a change. It was very disconcerting to hear about the state of our oceans. One thing Laura mentioned there, in the next 10, 20, 30 years, there's actually going to be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Can you believe that? Very disconcerting, very negative, very worrying about the state of our current oceans right now. But on the flip side of that, the positive side of that, a Plastic Ocean Foundation making a wave of change, changing the way we feel about plastic, changing the way plastic is manufactured and distributed, working on technologies of biodegradable plastic, and just spreading awareness, changing our mentality as humans, making us aware that our oceans are in trouble, our planet is in trouble. We all need to contribute and work together to make a lasting change for all of humanity. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed the show. Feel free to share it, like it, post your comments, send it to as many people as you can, and I will see you very soon. Guys, make a difference today on how you recycle your goods and throw away plastic efficiently. Recycle, recycle, recycle. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next show.